Yo! I feel like the music is too loud. Uno momento. Or is it? Hey, y'all! There we go. Yeah, admin, you were right. Hey, everybody. I hope you guys had a good weekend. Belated happy Halloween. It's now pretty much okay to start thinking about Christmas. Oh man. I definitely had some Halloween shenanigans. On Thursday, I went to Fort Edmonton Park, and they had this event called Dark, which they have like haunted houses and like scare actors kind of all throughout the grounds. It's like a how do I describe this in a, like a non-insulting way? It's like a almost like a farm version of Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights. Is the only way I can describe it. Because Fort Edmonton Park is like this old-timey amusement park based on Edmonton's history. Yes, I did. I did dress up for Halloween. I actually posted my costume on the community tab. I was a pirate, and I still have one of the rings on from my pirate costume, actually. I had like 3, but that was too much. But yeah, I was a pirate, and I got to hand out candy for a little bit at my job. Hey Angel, hey Sandy. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then Friday, on Halloween itself, I went to this thing called Bands as Bands, which is basically a bunch of local bands pretending to be these major famous bands for Halloween and just doing their songs. It's like a much more epic cover band concert with like 25 different bands. It was a lot of fun. Maybe got a little bit too drunk that night, but it is what it is. And then Saturday was actually like not Halloween related at all, but I got to film a really sort of kind of emotional fundraiser. There was a boy named Samuel Bird, an Indigenous kid who was 14 years old, who went missing at the beginning of summer, and it was such a big, like a big news story here, which is not, unfortunately, not normal in the Indigenous community. But he made waves, and the search went on for a really long time with no sort of luck in finding him. And that's also kind of the norm too, unfortunately. But there was like so much coverage about it. There wasn't a street corner in Edmonton where you didn't see a poster. There was all this social media campaigning that was going on. I was hired to film one of the bands at the fundraiser a few weeks ago, and the fundraiser was Saturday night. But just about a couple weeks shy of the fundraiser, his body was found. Unfortunately, he was murdered. And it was such a heavy experience. Because obviously the family was there, and it was actually held at this venue that I performed at when I was a kid. So it was a little bit nostalgic and emotional for me in that sense too. And then on top of that, the artist that I was hired to film for this event, 2 of the musicians in that band faced a very similar thing. One had lost a relative in the same way, and was also Indigenous. And you know, her sister's body was found, and another artist in that band, you know, his relative went missing, body was never found. to this day. So, there was weight of that. And then the main singer of the band, he had just lost his sister to addiction. So there's all this heaviness kind of going on. And they really carried that to the stage. And, and there was, I think it just kind of, the vulnerability that the artists showed on the stage by telling their story almost gave like the audience permission to sort of not have to keep it together at the event. And I could just see people like holding each other and crying, and people were singing the lyrics out loud just to lift up the singer, who was kind of emotional themselves. And it was just nice seeing everyone come together and be there for each other in that way. And so that was a beautiful experience. So a very sobering one as well, which, after Halloween shenanigans for the rest of the weekend, it was pretty nice to kind of have that and then come home and just reflect on that. Sorry to get all I guess emotional on you guys. Just wanted to share that story with you of how my weekend went. Angel, you're late to the bus. We were talking about Justin and Katy Perry last week on the live stream. And I do think it's weird. So, he went to his concert in Montreal, and that's how he met her, like my hometown. And so, like, now they're dating. Yeah, it weirded me out, Angel, honestly. Alright, but enough about my life and enough about who's dating who. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the General Hospital After Show. I am your host, Dion Gabriel. And we're just going to jump into it because we've been off topic the whole time. So, Ronnie betrayed the Quartermaines by agreeing to sell the Quartermaine estate to Drew. Let's talk about how we got there. So, as you guys may have recalled, last week ended with Drew getting caught red-handed by the mayor, Ms. Laura Collins herself, bullying Danny and Rocco and threatening them with jail because they called him out for being a shitty human being and an awful parent who's going to be the reason that Scout hates him in the future. And Laura went into Mama Bear mode, as she does, and to protect them, and called him out on his shit as well. And Ronnie backed her up and, basically shamed him for dishonoring Monica's memory and telling him to get out of her house. So, if you didn't watch this week, you might be thinking, well, Dion, if that's the case, how in the hell did she end up agreeing to sell him the house? And the answer is Martin Gray. After Drew went to lick his wounds and rant to Martin, he said, let me give it a shot and try to convince her. And he made his way to the Q home, and it was there where we learned that Ronnie and him are in fact in cahoots with each other. But, to clarify, she wasn't privy to everything. So, she had agreed to meet him after he reached out to her after discovering they were writing back and forth. Because if you guys remember, a few months back, Martin found a letter from Monica's sister to Monica in Drew's house because Scout was using it as scrap paper at the time. He told her he was seeking revenge on Tracy. And when she met Tracy in the crypt, it was her attitude towards her that swayed her into agreeing to help Martin get revenge on her. And even then, she didn't know how he'd end up... Like, she didn't know that he'd end up giving her the house in the will. And then, because she saw how vile Tracy could be, she jumped to the conclusion that Tracy did drug her. But after putting two and two together, she realized that Martin was the one who drugged her because he knew that she would blame her and likely kick her out of the house, just getting more revenge on Tracy. So, now, unfortunately, for Ronnie, Martin made sure that he was... Basically that there was nothing to trace him back to the forging of the will. So basically, Ronnie would go down for all of it, and if she didn't agree to give Drew the house, he basically threatened to burn her life down to the ground and make sure she ends up in jail. So she reluctantly agrees, and the Qs and all the members of the household were livid when they found out that she was not only selling the house, but selling it to Drew, especially because Olivia and Ned just convinced Tracy to make nice with Ronnie so that she'd be let back into the house. Of course, Tracy called her out on it. Basically saying I was right. But Tracy didn't have all the answers. And I gotta give it to Jane again, because her performance when Tracy's guilt over thinking that her attitude towards Ronnie is the reason she's selling the house to Drew really broke her down, and she broke down in kind of in Lulu's arms. And Lulu comforting Tracy in that moment, it really made me think about the overall history between the two characters. Alexa being, despite being our newest Lulu, really made me appreciate that history, and I think she played it really well. And it's interesting because it's a history that we really saw start and flourish with Julie Berman. And in many ways, Alexa has given me Julie Berman vibes a lot of the times. And I didn't really feel as emotional watching Emmy's Lulu with Tracy in scenes as I did, surprisingly, with Alexa and Jane. So kudos to Alexa for being able to pull that off, because Julie is a hard act to follow. But yeah, I'm also really enjoying the scenes of Lucy showing up and actually trying to comfort Tracy as well, by trying to get her to share some of her memories of the Qs. And I know that Tracy has always been stubborn and comes across as strong and hard-headed, but there's got to be, she's got to be experiencing such emotional turmoil of being the last one standing in terms of the original Qs. Obviously, her kids are still around, and their kids, and of course, Jason and his kids. But in terms of the original Qs before they became parents that we know and love, Tracy is the last one. And then it's just her and the next two generations of kids. Now, as for the rest of the people living in the Quartermaine estate, they could tell something wasn't adding up with Ronnie, because while they could get why she might sell the house, they don't get why she would sell the house to Drew specifically. Cody picked up on that and asked Molly for advice. And while she says it's weird, there's nothing legally that they can do, really. And then, what was I going to say? I mean, just generally speaking, all the Qs, they all told her about how Drew was or is just an awful person. They told her all the things that he's done to hurt Monica's family. From the sort of trying to destroy the Quartermaine crypt, and obviously all the things that Drew did to Monica's sort of golden grandchild, Michael. She would never stand for it. And I love that Tracy had even made a point to make sure that she knew that what Ronnie was doing was shaming Monica's name and destroying everything she stood for. Because even Tracy, with all of her doubts about Ronnie's character, could probably tell that if anything was going to make her feel guilty, it would be doing something that would upset Monica in the wake of trying to heal their damaged relationship. Michael actually managed to pry a little bit and told her that he could tell that there's something more at play, and I think she would have opened up to him if Drew and Martin hadn't arrived to get the paperwork signed. She really did say that there was more to the story. She managed to get that out. But yeah, the week ended with Tracy discovering Monica's last will and testament, the real one, and the tower boxes that she brought over to Lulu's. So now we just gotta wait and see what will happen. Will Tracy manage to save the cues before Drew gets to the house? A sneak peek shows that Outback might have a hand in buying the cues some time. So we'll see. Let's just hope it's enough time to save the cues, because if I have to endure that pathetic little punk bitch, poor excuse of a man, shacking up at the Q mansion with a daughter he abuses in an empty ass house that was once filled with like 30 people. We counted. There was more than 30. I might turn the channel until GH learns how to not drag out stories that keep awful people on our screens without paying for anything that they did. The same way they did with Peter August. We get enough of that in real life anyway, so I don't need to see it on TV. So hopefully the story wraps soon. The only scene I enjoyed with Drew this week was when Jason curve stomped him at the brown dog when Tracy was there drowning her sorrows with Lulu. Angel, you said the thing is, even if Monica really left the house to Ronnie, Ronnie doesn't own the house yet to sell it. Yeah, there's that part too. It's a bit ridiculous. But I think I like, because they kind of mentioned that Drew technically doesn't own the house yet, that Ronnie didn't. But I think that in my head, I'm going to kind of extend it to being like they're just getting a contract ready so that when she does officially own the house, it can go to Drew. But who knows? Who knows? But yeah, I don't know. Unless more time passed than we saw it and it's already been handled off screen, it's hard to say. Speaking of Ronnie, though, for fans of Erica Slezak and her kid Joey, we did get a little bit of a nod to the fact that she played his mom. The actor that plays Jack currently was the little boy that played her son Joey in, I think, One Life to Live. Is that right? So it was a nice little nod for people that knew. It was one of those if you know, you know situations. Even my mom looked confused when we were watching those scenes, and I had to explain it to her. I was like, no. This actor used to play her kid decades ago, and so they're just throwing a little nod to the audience. So I don't mind. I like those moments because it's like, all right, they have to sort of give that little bit of a crumb to fans of a show that no longer exists. Yeah, he played Joey. There you go, from 1986 to 1991. De Havilland, you said, I like Erica on One Life to Live as the character of Victoria Lord Buchanan. She was a Buchanan. Sorry, I'm just looking through my notes. The story was called One Light to Live? Do you mean One Life to Live, De Havilland? Or was there a spin-off I'm not aware of? Like the nod to the show. Yeah, like I don't mind little tidbits and crumbs like that when it comes to like fan service, It's just I don't want to see their actual characters coming onto the show. I don't want to see it. We've been there and done that. I don't need to see it again. I don't care about the history of these characters that were on a show I never watched. And it's not fair to GH fans to have to try to like figure it out, or like have these people be on screen taking over stories and talking about history that we've never seen. One Life to Live. Okay, I was worried there was a spin-off I wasn't aware of. I was like, wait, what? One Light? Alright, let's move on though. Let's talk about Lulu. She's having a rough go this week. On top of Tracy moving herself and nearly every Quartermaine heirloom into her teeny tiny house, which just in comparison to Q Mansion, obviously. But like all the houses look really small because of soap budgets. But yeah, so on top of that, she also found out from Nathan that Rocco had dinner with him, Britt, and Obrecht. Nathan advised her to try and have him come to her instead of confronting him on it. Lulu does, however, tell Dante, and he's seen things differently, and was practically making it obvious that they knew the truth when somewhat confronting him the other day. Charlotte stepped in to cover for Rocco, showing that she has her brother's back, which Lulu both admires and hates. She even confided into her mom, Laura, a little bit later in the week about it, and she suggested that she needs to be the one that makes the plans to have dinner and be present and be a part of the dinners so that Rocco will feel comfortable enough to tell her the truth, because they both know that he's just hiding things because he doesn't like to see Lulu hurting, and he knows that him seeing Britt hurts her, so he's just trying to avoid that. I'm sure those dinners will be completely uneventful if they happen. Completely. Oh man. Since we're on the topic of moms, though, let's talk about someone who's about to become one again. Portia Robinson. That poor child. This woman was out here this week confiding in Ava and plotting the lies she's gonna tell until she reaches her first trimester. Like she didn't know Jordan already figured out she was pregnant and would likely run straight to Curtis with the news. Like a moth to a flame. Which she did after having a conversation about still having feelings for each other, Jordan and Curtis. And, you know, the thing that they've both been denying for the last few years, by the way. Hell, even I almost bought it because they didn't act on it, but we got concrete proof this week that they still have strong feelings for each other. Confirmation from the two people themselves. And Curtis and Jordan have been out here gaslighting Portia the entire time. Oh my god. I feel, you know, I'm just sitting here like, y'all are toxic as hell. I swear. I like, imagine what's going to happen when the baby inevitably turns out to be Isaiah's, who is still in the dark. It's going to be a mess. Hey, Allison. I mean, Portia even boinked Isaiah in the cabin without telling him the news that she was pregnant. But yeah, Curtis found out from Jordan, and Curtis confronted Portia. And she didn't deny that she was pregnant. She didn't say that it could be someone else's. But she just wants to keep Trina in the dark until they figure things out. Quote unquote. Angel, you said, I hope she tells the truth of who is the dad. However, Isaiah seems very fatal attraction. I hope he's not, because the actor is so good. And like, there's so much potential for that character. And if they just make him like another freaking fatal attraction type of character. The last one we seen was Patrick's ex, Lisa Niles. I don't need male Lisa Niles. I want a good character in Isaiah. You know? It's just like, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But, in any case, Portia's got bigger fish to fry, or bigger things to worry about than who the baby daddy is. Because Nina is desperately trying to get Willow out from his possible murder charge, and is even willing to help Michael too, because I think deep down she knows that Michael probably didn't do this. But she does confide in Sunny that someone that has been overlooked as a suspect is out there, and it's Portia. And she tells Sunny that Drew is blackmailing Portia with something to make her do his bidding. So she has a motive to do it. I don't think it's Portia either, for the record. Like, she's definitely crazy enough to kill him, I think. Probably. But I just don't think that she did it. I think, you know, Portia isn't acting like she did it. She could have done it. She could have finished the job if she did it in the hospital. And she chose not to. So, it is what it is. Nina is a rotten friend. Yeah. Austin, he said, I don't think he's bad, but he shouldn't be messing with a married woman. Yeah, I mean, in all fairness, like, Portia, since they met, like, she's been saying the marriage is over. They already agreed to getting a divorce. It's like, there's a gray area there. Because neither Portia or Curtis have the desire to try and work things out at this point. And, you know, not that Portia has had the satisfaction of seeing Jordan and Curtis admit their feelings to each other, but the girl was right. The girl was right. Curtis held Portia to a standard that she would never meet, and he's always kind of resented the fact that she kept him in the dark about Trina, which, to be fair, on Curtis's part, valid reason not to trust her completely, but he shouldn't have married her if he didn't trust her on that front. Angeli said, we always knew Jordan and Curtis were attracted to each other, so they just didn't act on it. Yeah, but they never really sort of fully opened up about it to anybody either. Like, maybe like Jordan sometimes would be like to Anna that she was conflicted a little bit, but like the way that Portia's so justified like in doing that and like seeing what was actually there, and Curtis and Portia just Curtis and Jordan just like gaslighting her and be like, there's no attraction, blah 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 blah. Like, ooh, I'm cheering for Portia on that front. I hope that if Isaiah is the father, she proudly claims it. Be like, so what? You were emotionally cheating on me with Jordan the entire time. Kick rocks. Jordan deserves better than Curtis. Everybody, like, listen. Everybody deserves better than Curtis. Curtis is so up high on his sort of pedestal and looks, you know, sticks his nose up, you know, acting like he's above everybody else and holds everybody to impossible standards. It's just what he does. Like, you know, he just needs to be by himself. He does. At least he was able to admit to Jordan that he held her to an impossible standard. He needs to give Portia the same courtesy. Portia accused Curtis of sleeping with Jordan. Well, he wanted to. And either way, it doesn't really matter because, you know, they had already decided that their marriage was over. So, the relationship was over. And as far as I'm concerned, like, let them do their thing. Paperwork takes time anyway. But yeah, anyway, lastly, let's talk about the mysterious head honcho of the Phase On project, which is not so mysterious anymore. The long and short of it is that Sidwell is a part of that whatever cold fusion thing that Britt and Dalton have been working on, because of course he is. I'm convinced that they brought this big bad on with no game plan. And then as soon as he started falling on the wayside a little bit because GH was distracted with other stories, they were like, let's just throw him in this Phase On thing as well. So, you know, honestly, I'm convinced that the writers have ADHD because they like to jump around every time they get a shiny new idea without wrapping up the previous plots. And then they just sort of sloppily stack these actors they promised contracts to into stories just to keep their quota consistent in terms of screen time. So, like, they're like, okay, I guess we'll make Sidwell a part of this cold fusion project too. I don't know, Allison. I don't know. I feel like it has something to do with the fact that Nathan is alive and well, and that Britt is alive and well. I think there's something going on. It's probably something that can bring people back from the dead. That is my best guess. But until we know, we don't know for sure. And also, like, they're testing things on animals. I don't even know. It's crazy. Now, Sidwell is apparently getting tired of Dalton's lack of movement within whatever their plan is, and decides Britt is now going to be his boss. Which is super great for Emma, because she's been working for Dalton, and now his boss is her almost ex-stepmom, because they never quite got married. But Britt is no dummy. She's going to notice Emma snooping. And on top of that, Emma and Gio just recruited Charlotte, Rocco, and Danny to help them with whatever plan to distract Dalton so they can find some answers. And I have a feeling that all three of them are going to start to have doubts on helping because they'll know that they have to go against Britt too. Obviously, Rocco's not going to want to do that. Danny listens to his father, Jason, and Jason respects Britt, so there's a risk for him in that too. And Charlotte's dad told Charlotte to stay away from Britt and to not trust her. So, I don't know what's going to happen there. But getting those kids involved in whatever scheme they're going to do to distract Dalton is crazy. So, like, y'all are getting high school kids to help you. That's crazy. Oh man. But yeah, those are kind of the major plots that happened this week. I didn't want to go too long on the stream today just because I'm pretty exhausted after the crazy weekend. Ups and downs, It was not downs. Like, there was no bad things that happened. It was just emotional. A very emotional weekend. And I haven't really gotten to rest and process everything yet. But, yeah. I mean, GH was alright last week. My hope is that the Qs can outmaneuver Drew and keep the house to themselves, and that Ronnie will see the light and help the Qs instead of giving, Drew what he wants, just to keep it a secret that she agreed to help Martin, who's just throwing her under the bus because he wanted some petty revenge on Tracy. I also don't know how I feel about Martin, like, willing to screw over so many other people just to stick it to Tracy. Like, I get wanting to get revenge on Tracy, but to, like, there's like 30 people living in that house. Like, to screw all of them over just to stick it to Tracy is crazy. And, Martin was always kind of, like, morally gray to me. Like, he has moments where he knows right from wrong, but this is so wrong. Like, it's crazy. Crazy. All this just to get a little bit of revenge on Tracy. To have Lindy said, I really hope that Brooklyn and Chase break up. Wait until Brooklyn finds out that he is helping Weeping Willow. I mean, I can't blame Chase for wanting to help Willow. Like, Michael's doing a poor job at making himself look not guilty. And I don't even think he's guilty, but he's making himself look worse. And I know we didn't touch base on it last week. They, Dante had confronted Michael on whether he did it or not, and he doesn't even buy it. And Sonny barely buys it because he sees that Michael has a bit of a temper when it comes to Drew and that he's probably capable of doing it. But I genuinely don't think Michael did it, and I genuinely don't think Portia did it. Willow, I'm on the fence about. I think that she doesn't realize that if she did it, I don't think she realizes that she did it. So my guess is that it's either Willow, unaware of what she's done, because let's face it, we've seen her, we know that she's cracked, and that she's not getting a whole lot of help for her mental state. But if it's not her, I don't know who else it would be. People are saying maybe it was Scout or Danny, but I just don't see them doing it. I really don't see them doing it. And also, like, the silhouette looked like an adult. So I don't think it was Scout. Also, he said he still loves Willow. Yeah. Like, Willow and Chase have always maintained their friendship. So it doesn't surprise me that Chase is willing to help Willow at all. I don't want them back together, just to be clear, but I'm not that bothered by Chase wanting to help Willow. Because Michael's doing a shit job and making himself seem innocent. And, I think Michael, correct me if I'm wrong, he admitted to Chase that he believes that she was stalking Daisy and Oh my gosh, her name escapes me. Sasha. So, I don't know. He doesn't believe her, but I hope that Chase confronts her on it. Because I'm curious what she will say if that's true. Angel said Chase is blinded by Willow being a perfect angel. That's how Janelle fooled him in the first place. Janelle, yeah, it's true. Oh, lordy. Danny's acting way too chill for a kid that... Yeah, I agree, Angel. It's not Danny. You think Michael what? What about 1981? Michael wasn't even born yet. um, but I think Chase being a hero, noticing the power and balance of what happened to Willow. The power and balance, but if she did it, I think that Chase is not gonna cover for her if she did it. I think that I hope that Chase confronts her on stalking Sasha and Daisy. And I hope that she tells him the truth. Or at least creates enough suspicious within him to be like, oh shit, Michael was right about that. Because obviously he doesn't buy it right now. But yeah, I don't know. Michael's like Alan back in 1981. Yeah, but like Willow doesn't deserve her kids. Straight up. Keeping them in a house with an abuser like him, knowing that her kids abused him or were abused by him, specifically Wiley. That's not a good mom. That's not a good mom. Chase has a bad hero complex. He does. But again, like I cannot blame him for wanting to help Willow. I just can't blame him for that. I just hope that he questions Willow. Even if he doesn't believe Michael now, I feel like he can at least be like, Michael even accused you of stalking Daisy and Sasha, and just like noticing her reaction to it. We'll see. Because I don't think Willow's a very good liar. So I think that she can pick up on it. Or that he can pick up on it. He is a cop after all. And you know what they say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Can you imagine if he got duped by both of the twins? Willow and Janelle. Allison, you right. Ainsley said, I'm not even mad at Michael's at how he's acting. He got to get the blame off of him. Yeah. Plus we don't know what he saw while he sat in his car. Yeah, I think he saw something. I think he knows who did this. He was there. He got out of his car. He saw something. He got back in his car for a reason. I think he saw something. I just don't know what he saw. And like, I mean, I guess to that end, I don't think that Michael, if it was Willow, I don't think Michael would protect her. I think he would have fully admitted to seeing her. I don't know. But there's no way he didn't see anything. It's probably Willow when he saw it, but then why would he not just say that? Because that's the best way to get her out of his kids' lives. You know? Like, I don't know. But he saw something. I hope your Monica theory is right. Yeah, I did. Yeah, we were talking. I don't know if you guys weren't in the chat. I don't know if it was last week or the weekend before, but I mentioned like maybe Monica got one last win and actually killed him herself, or tried to kill him herself. No, he hates her. Well, yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't see like Jay. If Michael saw Willow do it, he would so just admit it. Yeah, I was there. I watched Willow go in and do it. That would get her out of this kid's life forever. So I don't know. I don't know. He doesn't want to admit to being there. Yeah, but like, he would be a witness to it. And Willow didn't have an alibi. It would have worked out in his favor. Michael, to that end, like, he does have enough of an alibi because he was in fact with Jacinda. But he just had enough time to go to Drew's house to confront him, but witness something. So at the very least, it would, yeah, he'd still be a suspect, but because Willow had a fake alibi, it would work in his favor. Angel said, I'm glad Jacinda told Michael about Nina. Oh yeah, we didn't really talk about that. Okay, we'll touch base on that quickly, yeah. So Nina and Drew tried to buy Jacinda. And Jacinda told Michael. And she was like, I'm not taking the bait. I'm not going to do it. So, kudos to Jacinda. I like her. I actually like Jacinda. I like the actress that plays her. She's doing a good job. I don't know. I don't hate the idea of Michael and Jacinda. And I'm glad that Michael actually brought up Abby to her as well. I think it might have created a little bit of fear, maybe, in Jacinda because she's dead. But either that or, you know, because he was just like, she's part of my story. You know, I think there's just so much more to Michael than she realizes. And I'm sure she's probably curious about life before all this drama. Also, he said he'd be in trouble for not calling the cops and getting Drew help, though. Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying that he saw Willow or whomever shoot Drew, but he saw someone go in the house. How did Abby die? Abby died in a construction accident off-screen, which was weird. Like, I don't know why they just randomly killed her off. Like, she died off screen, but they brought the actress back because Michael and Sam went to confirm the body because Abby didn't really have any family. So Sam and Michael went to confirm, and we did see the actress that plays her dead in the slab. It just felt so out of nowhere, though, because they didn't really throw Michael a new love interest right away either. Like, I don't know. It was weird. Yeah. I thought Michael and Abby were a bit boring, to be honest, though. But I appreciated that she was a friend of Sam's, and Sam was just trying to help Michael ever since that she and Jason found out that Michael was raped in prison. And, you know, there was no pressure with Abby and Michael, you know, because she was essentially a sex worker, and they hired her really to try and have sex with him, and there'd be no pressure on it because girls think Michael is attractive, and Michael didn't know how to react to girls at the time, so yeah. Well, the actress for it was on another show. Maybe you're right. That sounds familiar, Kaiwan. Kiki Star was his next love interest. Yeah, but that didn't happen for like a whole other year. What a way to treat her like a cartoon character. Yeah, just like a construction tool thing landing on her off screen. Like, what? I don't think it had anything to do with his sexuality. Taiwan. Although I know fans wanted Gay Michael to be a thing, I do not think that was the intent in that story. All right, y'all, but now I'm gonna call it. Again, I hope that GH is a little bit better this week. That we see Drew get his, what he deserves, which is, death, really, but, like, at least not winning the Q Mansion. That is my one hope for the week. The rest of the stories I don't even care about. Just don't let Drew win. We get enough of bad politicians doing bad things and getting away with it regularly in the real world. We don't need to see it on our soaps. Good Lord. Alright. I'm going to call it a night. Thank you so much for watching the live stream. If you liked it, give it a big old thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to. I'd really appreciate it. And I will catch you guys next weekend to talk about GH. Good night, y'all. Mwah.